Hello and welcome to the SP show. This is the second time we've done this intro because the first time I did a bad American accent. I thought it was funny. It wasn't. I regret my actions. Let's crack on with the show. Yeehaw! We are talking about America because Donald Trump is in the news. He's always in the news. Our man, our Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, he's jetting off to the White House. Pretty big. It's pretty big, this meeting. We have this special relationship we talk about between the UK and America, and you know, like Reagan and Thatcher were like that. And then Blair and Bush went to war together. I mean, that's pretty special. You only go to war together with your buddies, right? Like, imagine going to war with someone you didn't really like. Keir Starmer wants, well, there's so much that we want, but it's set against the background of Donald Trump being really difficult to read. He said, for example, that if Hamas didn't give back every single hostage, then the ceasefire would collapse and he would collapse the ceasefire. He said that standing next to Israeli President Benjamin Netanyahu. So that's a thing, but then it didn't happen. They didn't release all the prisoners, and it was fine. At a Black Lives Matter event, he was saying, literally this week, that he's thinking about running for a third term, which is unconstitutional. So in order to run for a third term, he would need to change the Constitution to allow him to run. It's quite the bull pit. It's quite the bull pit that Starmer's going into. And one of the things that's going to be at the top of the agenda is Ukraine. Because Donald Trump has gone, I'm going to solve the Ukraine crisis. He said that before he became president. He said on day one, he'd bring peace in Ukraine.
I will have that settlement done within 24 hours.
Now, it's not day one, but he's getting about it pretty quickly. We're in February here, and he was only inaugurated in January, so it's not messing about. The controversial thing is that his way to get peace in Ukraine is to talking's good, but only talk to Russia. What? It doesn't feel to me like the way to solve a problem. Reward the bully for bullying, and then they'll stop bullying. So it's difficult. It's difficult. And we're big Zelensky people in this country. We're Team Zelensky. We're Team Ukraine. I think pretty much everyone in this country wants Russia to get out of that country, including Crimea, a return to 2013 borders, and a sovereign Ukraine. It's hard. It's going to be hard to get there. It's going to be especially hard to get there if Donald Trump is just backing Putin. What an odd way to take sides. But that's where we're at. And so Starmer's going to go and he's going to talk about it. And Starmer wants to be this link between the Europe and the America. If it works, then it's great. Then we can do that. And it might not work because this president is not reliable to do the things he says. He says things. Chapter 1 of The Art of the Deal, his book, says you open negotiations with something wild and out there. Chapter 1. And that's what he does. He's read his own book. It's what he does every single time. He says something wild and out there and then accepts something less. Like in The Apprentice when they offer someone 50p for a house or whatever it is. Except in The Apprentice it never works. But Trump, it does work if we can bridge America with Europe. If Keir Starmer can get in there and build bridges and have a nuanced, constructive relationship with the White House and with the president, and then go back to the EU, and then go back and speak to Brussels about what's going on, it would put us in a really good position, and it would be really, really wonderful, and the special relationship could continue. Or Trump doesn't treat him very well. Trump says something, does another, and then we're kind of shut out because we haven't really been close to Europe, and then suddenly we're all on our own, like I am at parties. That'd be sad. But he also wants to talk about trade when he's over there, because we got the steel tariffs. We make some money from steel. 20% of our steel goes to America, and that's going to be priced out. He wants to talk about tariffs in general, because Donald Trump says tariffs are coming on the EU, and then possibly not us, because he said that we are doing a good job. He said that Starmer's doing a good job so far. So maybe we can avoid them. But Starmer's going to go talking about Ukraine. He's going to talk about tariffs. He's going to talk about trade. He's going to talk about hot dogs. I think that's what I talk about in America a lot. Everyone in this country should be wishing Keir Starmer well in his trip on Thursday. Go on, Keir. On to money now. Let's talk Rachel Reeves. Let's talk the economy. It seems to be something we're doing every week. The focus, I've never known in 10 years of SP so much constant focus on the economic numbers. Some people, I think, still find them boring, but we're finding out so much about our economy right now. We're finding out who we are as a country. And the bad news is, here's the bad news, inflation is going up again, and it's going up more than we thought it was going to go up. It's now 3%. That means that in the year to January, prices went up by 3%. Obviously, it's not all prices. Some things went up more than others because energy costs have gone up. So that means that industries that use lots of energy, prices have gone up, and other things have gone down. But 3% inflation is bad news. We've also got wages going up. So that's good. If wages are going up faster than inflation is going up, that means that people have more money in their pocket. So if you get an extra £5 a day, but the food you're going to eat costs you £3 extra a day, you've got an extra £2, which you could buy something for £2, or 2 things that cost £1 each, or 4 things that cost 50p. That is the financial education you need in your life. The bad news is that all of this inflation means that Rachel Reeves's headroom, the money that Rachel Reeves had spare, is going. It's gone. The cost of borrowing has gone up, which is eating into it, and inflation's eating into it, and so there is now no headroom. She has not a penny spare, which means that when she takes her feet in the Commons in March or April, whenever it is, we're either going to see tax rises, which you said we won't, because she only does them once a year in the autumn. So that means cuts are coming. Don't know where. We'll see. We'll see. Somewhere. It's got to be somewhere. And we'll cover it as we go. And then finally, and also quite positive news, is that unemployment was flat in the final quarter of last year. This is good news. People who want jobs have largely got them. I think it's 3 or 4%. So it's a pretty low unemployment. And if it's not growing, that's really good. It's really positive for the economy. So a mixed bag for Rachel Reeves this week. We got more figures. There's so many data. So much data comes out. We're probably going to be talking about it next week too. On to your comments now. We got lots of comments coming through this week on various videos. Lots of them, I've got to admit, were summed up by Siphon2808, who said, "What a load of crap. But at least you live up to the simple part." Do you know what's nice? He starts off being negative, but then by living up to the simple part, I think he's saying, you've really broken down the issues nicely for me, and I understand better what's going on. So you're welcome, Siphon2808. Nice to get the negative part out first before really that little pat on the back at the end. So thank you very much. It's really appreciated. Love you. Elsewhere in the comments, we've gone deep into history with these comments, and I love it. I'm here for it. So, Wage Slave Uranus 9596 said, this is about pubs, right? We're talking about pubs over the week. Said, did you ever think maybe all the boozing led to your current situation? Good time to detox. My current situation? I don't think it did. The response to that from Irusco, nonsense. Pitts the Younger, yes, was on a pint of port a day while leading the country against Napoleon. Churchill was half cut through large parts of World War II. It's the birthright of every honest Englishman to be drunk most of the time. Wow. I got no notes. This is, if you're talking about Pitt the Younger in my comments, You've won. You had me at Pitt the Younger, and then you go on to Churchill and it's the birthright. Yes, of every honest Englishman. I love dishonest Englishmen not allowed to drink. Honest Englishman, perfect. It's a wonderful comment. Thank you. Let's look forward now. Normally, we like to look forward into the next week, but we're going further today, further than we've ever gone. We're going to look forward to 2035. Because in 2035, a report is going to be published. It's going to be the final report of a 10-year study into the long-term effects of vaping. We don't know the long-term effects of vaping right now. People have ideas. There have been some quite small studies, but we don't really know. One of the reasons we don't like it for kids is that it gets them addicted to nicotine, which is just a bad thing to do. My understanding is we don't have much serious evidence about long-term harm apart from the nicotine thing. This study really matters because we need to know. And a lot of people I've seen have been laughing about a 10-year study. Well, we need stuff now, not in 10 years' time. But this is good science. This is good government. Yes, we need things now, but we also need to take some serious time. There was a video the other day, maybe a few months ago, of Nick Clegg saying that they didn't want to start doing something, building something, because they wouldn't be finished till 2024. And then 2024 us was like, oh, I kind of wish you'd started that then, because now we'd have it. 10 years is going to pass. And at the end of that 10 years, we'll be better off because of this study. And there will be other studies, and maybe they'll have interim results and all of that. 10-year studies are really cool. I think it's really great. Well done, everyone involved. See you in 10 years' time. Well, that is the end of this week's SP show. Oh, it's all changed here, by the way. It's all changed. We won't be back this time next week. We're going to be back the Monday afterwards, and it's going to be a new, improved, better politics video. I'll see you then. Love you. Bye.